Okay, I'm live. Hi-yo, everybody. It's 7:17. We are on our usual 7 o'clock-ish time frame. So thank you for meeting us here. There's a lot to talk about. There's major Mako in the community this week. Some new Alberta legislation. Really that new Alberta legislation surrounding everything just coming down today and going into effect on Sunday. And then additionally, we have, all the stuff that's on the scroll, all the stuff that's on the screen, and all the things that are usually in the multiverse, also what's in our ears. Nigel, the MC, is doing some behind the camera work at this exact moment. So he'll be joining us momentarily. But you guys, who's there? Anybody who's there? Chitter chattering. Let us know kind of what you would like to see going forward. We have the opportunity to do things a little bit differently with these new restrictions. And so we just kind of have to think, I think, we just kind of have to think creatively about what happens next. And that's what I got. Hello, Nigel.
All right.
All right, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast.
Yeah.
It is December 8th. It's like the timestamp.
It is definitely December 8th.
Mm-hmm.
As you said before, we are dealing with quite a few things that happened this week, so it was great. So this past week has been good for me. Can I talk about what I did this week?
Yeah, do you, boo?
This week I was, we had a huge problem in September. So in September, actually before September, like July, we found out that in the children's room, there was a leak. And the leak came through the basements, sorry, not the basement, through the girls' bedroom ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling them, don't play with water. And I kept seeing this cup of water inside the room.
Don't tell me you're blaming these children for a whole leak in the ceiling. No, all the water damage.
No.
Okay.
But I kept seeing the water, and I kept saying, girls, you can't play with water. And they're like, okay, Dad. And I'm like, okay. And then finally, I came in after numerous times, and I said, girls, what is with this water? And they said, the ceiling's leaking. We're saving the carpet. By not saying anything about the actual leak in the ceiling. So there's a leak coming from the ceiling.
I like it.
And they just stopped it with a cup of water, and they would just dump the water when it got too full. So
that's funny.
Once we found that out, of course we called up insurance, tried to figure out what the situation is. Put somebody up onto the roof. That person went up on the roof with a whole team. They cut the ceiling, they cut the drywall, they found black mold everywhere. Carpet had black mold. It had been going on for so long that it was there. Everybody who's out there listening, always double check your insurance policy, because insurance policies cover major leaks in basements for water from the main valve and the main drain, but they do not cover leakage and seepage. So if you have something in your wall that's been dripping for a while,
that's the worst.
You never caught it, they don't cover you a lot of the time. You have to find out if they even cover that, and if they do, then you have to add it on. You have to ask for it to be added.
Yeah.
We thought we were covered, so it was fine. The people went up on the roof. They gave us a quote which was absolutely astronomical. quote.
Naturally.
And it was.
They're like, it's getting cold, so here's the cost.
And this is just before we had our first snowfall.
Right.
So we were kind of hustling and bustling, and we got to September, and everything was going as planned.
Mm-hmm.
But then the whole family got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Not got COVID. I got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
One of my sons got COVID, and then the whole family went into quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't bring anybody in during that time,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the time when I started reviewing the paperwork to see what was going on. I was so busy doing, my job and stuff like that. I wasn't able to check it out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a matter of communication. And I got it and looked it up, and I was like, wait a minute, something's up here. And that's when we got, I talked to Darren Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Jordan referred me to Island Roofing. Shout out to Island Roofing.
Mm-hmm.
They came in, assessed the problem. The guys before not only overcharged, but they misdiagnosed the problem.
Wow.
And told us it was a completely separate problem, and tacked on a $600 charge.
Wow.
to fix that separate problem.
Okay.
So they got approval to do our roof and re-roof our roof.
Mm.
But then we would have to wait till after it snowed for the guy to come back to fix what he thought was the problem, which was the soffit. So he taken pictures, and there was some repairs that had been done when they first built the home, and they did these repairs. So it really was an issue, because the insurance was like, we don't cover that. We don't cover seepage. We don't cover that, especially because that's old repairs.
Wow.
So we're like, so when we got Island Roofing, and Island Roofing went on top of it, like, that's not the problem. The problem is this vent's not even glued down. Look at it. He's pulling it up. It's like not tacked. It had like a one screw in it. So anytime the wind would blow, it would lift up, and all the rain would come in.
It would just go inside. Wow.
Right inside the girl's room, just drip through the ceiling. So we had to get that. We got him to do the roofing. He did an excellent job with the roof. He got all the vents battened down.
Shout out to Harvey. Is that Harvey?
Yeah, that is Harvey.
Who is also my client. So an aphrodisiac insider.
Yeah. And I found out,
recommend him.
I found out after, Darren said Island Roofing, that it was actually also Nilo's
I'm like,
client.
oh yeah, that's our people.
And then when he came, I was like, oh, I know your face now. I was like, oh, I recognize it. So he did a great job. And then after that, I was left with the rest. The insurance was like, yeah, we're not going to cover all the drywall we took out or all the roofing we took out. So we had to get a payout from them for the whole cost, and then get an abatement team to come in, remove all the molds, remove the carpet from the rooms. And that's when I was like, we got to get the flooring done. So this week, we got somebody to come in and do the drywall, and to do the ceilings. A great job by them, Brother Man Construction. So he came in, he did it. And it was great. He did the ceiling texturization. He did it all, so that was good. And then the flooring now, I had to figure out what I'm going to do about the flooring. I checked out a couple quotes. It was in the $3,000 to $4,000 range.
Oh, wow.
To do all of the stuff. So I ended up tackling it by myself using YouTube videos, a double mallet, a flooring mallet, and some knee pads.
Wow.
And that was it. So I did it.
You got it done.
I got the girls' rooms done. I got the boys' rooms done. I did the hallway. I was like, okay, I did it.
Yeah.
And so now it's just the baseboards that I just finished the baseboards. And now it's the window casing that I have to finish, because they had to replace the drywall, and the insulation all had to be replaced and all that. So that was my week. I accomplished something that normally I don't think I would have necessarily accomplished without this. So it was good.
It was, watching it all come together was something. So I am relieved for you, especially because there was like a timing, because you're trying to get your house back together for holidays and all of these things coming up. So
yeah, and we had all the children like tucked into the basement. So even when COVID was happening, it wasn't hard to isolate from them when I had COVID because they were already in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't want them with the black mold, and we had all the flooring removed and everything removed, so they couldn't go in there. It was all cordoned off and polyed off and plasticed off, and it was just an interesting situation.
Well, congratulations to everybody.
Yeah, well, thank you. The week before that, we had the Afro Market, and I emceed the Afro Market, which was great, the cyber market, I call it. And I dropped my phone, and it was dead in the water, so I pulled out an older phone, revitalized it, Frankensteined it back to working order, and today I got my new phone, so I have to go through that. So that's why I won't be really commenting on
your comments,
on my comments, which is the watch party comments.
Let me go and see if I can help.
I was trying to add you as a co-host, but you didn't come up as a person.
Oh.
Then you could have just co-hosted that too.
Okay, I can see that. I'll get in there.
So, so I have my new phone. It is loading up. It is 100% charged. It is telling me it is time to go. And that's it.
That's always exciting, getting a repaired and or new.
Yeah, this
phone.
This is a brand new phone. This is not even repaired.
Okay.
This is a brand new phone.
It's a whole new phone?
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't a repair after all.
No, it's a whole new phone. It's a whole new phone.
I like it.
I was like, okay, thank you.
That's what you wanted.
Yeah, oh yeah. Wow.
That's literally what you wanted.
I literally paid insurance, and if it's a cracked screen, your deductible is like $34. If it's a damage and you want it repaired, then your deductible now is like $70-something. And then if you wanted a new phone, like if it was cracked and you can't use it, it's damaged beyond repair, then you pay $139 deductible, and they'll send you a brand new phone. So
well, thank you for that insurance. Yeah, you definitely paid for it. But I've also paid for insurance though, and then went to go claim insurance on something, and they were like, what phone was the SIM card in? I'm like, well, the 7117 SIM card was in this phone. Oh, well, you don't have insurance on that. I'm like, no, but I have insurance on both all the lines, right? They're like, no, but once the SIM card, that was with Rogers, honestly. Once the SIM card is out of one and then you put it in the other one, then it's not eligible anymore for the damage. I think that's why I ended up leaving Rogers. Because I was like,
I have bad relationship with
lots of people do.
With Rogers,
right? Never mind the thousands. Like, literally, there were months where my bill was $1,000.
Bad taste.
Never, ever in my life. Okay, let's move on. What's on your scroll?
On the scroll. So on the scroll, we know. Well, you may not know, but we have Major
Mako.
Major Hype is on the scroll.
Major Mako.
Major Hype is a comedian based out of New York, but hails from Jamaica.
They say he's Canadian.
No, he's not Canadian.
Oh, he is actually Jamaican?
He's actually from Jamaica.
Okay.
But he's been telling people he's from Grenada.
Oh.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. So he's been pretending he's from Jamaica.
So Major Hype is he hails from Jamaica, and his real name is Nigel. And then when I started watching him, he was doing videos, and the videos he was doing was just hilarious videos. He can do almost any accent.
He has all these different characters, right?
And
he started being like dating Trinidadian woman, dating a Guyanese woman, I remember,
And he would sit in his chair in his apartment, and he would talk about his issues, right? And his issues being, he would just, child support, how much to pay.
Oh, I never caught that part of what he did. He did that?
He did it all the time. So he would just reenact what it was like.
Oh, got you.
What the conversation would sound like. And then as he went on, you saw him grow. So you saw him move from New York. You saw him get a movie deal, do a bunch of commercials, have people start flying him out to the islands to do shows.
And he was on Uber Soca.
And then he was doing, when he went to Trinidad, he would do a Marshall impression that was hilarious. I am Marshall. I am Soca. I am the Soca god. And people were laughing because that's kind of like how he talks and stuff like that. So people were like really got on him. He was on news channels. He made it on to
BET.
His cameras,
he had a show on BET.
Just like us, his cameras got better and better and better and
just
better.
Like us. I accept it.
Just like us. And then he got onto BET and got his own show. He moved to Georgia, bought a beautiful home out in Georgia, and started doing a show from his house. And then inviting celebrities and DJing from his rooms and stuff like that, inviting celebrities to his house to eat. What was it? Spice.
Yeah. Spice is over there eating a boil, pretty much.
Yeah.
A crab and
lobster and seafood. And he had cooked it up and stuff like that. So we get to the point now where his significant other, his
fiance,
has come up, and I'll let you tell the rest.
Why you want me to tell the story? You were going so good with it.
No, I'm just telling his history because not a lot of people know his history
of where he came from. Now you can tell them the story. So anyway, y'all, the lady come out and said, like, she is essentially like, of abusers, like, she's not going to defend this person for abusing her anymore. And then went on and on about how Major Hype has been physically and sexually abusing her. We should have trigger warning this whole story. So let's just take a second now. Knowing what you know for what we're going to discuss, take a second to fast forward if this is not your thing. Okay, so apparently there was some physical and sexual violence there, and then she came out with these, let's say, allegations because we have to, and then right after, her sex tape was mysteriously leaked with her and this guy. Let's call him Nate because that's his name. So him and her and this sex tape with this boy Nate was leaked. And they're like in a bathroom or whatever. So
sorry, just for our older audiences, a sex tape is when somebody has performed some sort of sexual act on video, and it's kept that video on some sort of device, whether it's phone, camera, camcorder, VHS, DVD, whatever it's on. So that's what the sex tape is. Keep going.
So he releases it to the internet or whatever. And then she gets on. And at this point, she's livid, right? Because I think that's a federal offense, actually. Revenge porning people like that. So, no, in the States. It's actually the FCC. It's an FCC law that passed. So, yeah, so he says it was not him. He thinks it was Nate the Great, who I'm now calling him. And so what he came out and said was that she actually abuses him, and he went through her phone. Now, there was a lot of stuff on her phone, I'm not even gonna lie, but it's her phone. He shouldn't have had it. And from the time where the things that were on her phone that he was showing the world, they were not together during that time, right? And then some of it was like inbox stuff where somebody sent something to her inbox and she didn't necessarily respond to. There was a lot of penis pictures in there, I'm not gonna lie. He created an entire slideshow.
Wow.
And then he ended by reading, what is that prayer called?
It's called Psalms 27, the Lord's Prayer.
Oh, it is the Lord's Prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he ends by reading.
Not Psalms 27, Psalms 23.
I thought it was.
The Lord's Prayer. Sorry.
So he ends by reading the Lord's Prayer. Psalms 23.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Lord's Prayer was Our Father. What in heaven, how good are you?
Isn't that what he read?
No, he read, I shall not want, lead me down into green pastures. The Lord is my shepherd. Lord is my shepherd is what he read. Which I think, what?
I'm second guessing my own self.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
I'm not gonna.
It's fine, look it up. Look it up. For whatever reason, I'm drawing a blank.
You're probably right. I mean, just because I thought it was the Lord's Prayer, it doesn't mean that's the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer is Our Father.
And the other one is Psalms 23.
Psalms 23. Just called that. Yeah, so it's just called Psalm 23. Okay.
So it was Psalms 23 he went through. He
read it. And just for the record, like, somebody in the comments was like, somebody in the comments was like, oh, everybody know that prayer, even the devil.
Somebody said that?
Yeah. Everybody know that prayer, even the devil. Watch how he has to read it. He was like, and I will leave you with this. He opens his Bible and starts reading. Well, the 23rd Psalm is what they call it, right? Or how I know it. So he starts reading the 23rd Psalm, and he's like, I'm like, I know this guy's not about to do this. A couple of my favorite lines was, you can wipe your phone, but you can't wipe God. That was like one of my favorites.
The next day he came out with all the stuff that he was talking about in his broadcast.
On the story.
Because how it worked out was that she came out first and said some things. And then he came out and leaked this tape. And then she came back to rebuttal and say, you can't, homie, that's old. That's an old sex tape. You trying to embarrass me, but you can't embarrass me. And she was trying to, get in front of it, which he did successfully. And then he came back with an hour-long rebuttal to her response. Mm-hmm. So when he came out, the next day, because I follow Major Hype because he's hilarious.
Right.
And so I was following him, and his story came up on Instagram, and on his story he had all of the text messages on there,
all the things,
all the pictures on there. You could scroll through and read to your heart's content. And then the last thing he had on there was first a video of him saying the Lord's Prayer, and then he had a picture of himself in a marina with his two children reading the Bible in their bedroom,
praying.
Like, here, take this camera, take this picture of us reading.
It was poor.
I was like, who took this picture?
It was poor. As they would say, Guyana, it was a very domestic performance.
Like, wow, and they're sitting there reading their Bible. I was like, wow, okay, all right, because the situation is he doesn't actually. Well, he does deny putting his hands on her. He says he never put his hands on her. But the story...
He said she put her hands on him.
Yeah, he said I've never in my life put my hands on her.
And he said she beats me.
That's what he said.
Right.
And so I've known a lot of men who've gotten beaten.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's not possible.
Over the years. And it's a very... socially strange
it's probably challenging for them
place to go through. They've done about 5 social experiments where a guy is about to he's in the middle of a public place and he's about to hit a girl, and they're acting like he's gonna hit her, and 3-4 guys and the lady will come and stop him, and then they'll do it the next day
in the flip reverse.
in the flip, and nobody stops her.
Is that show What Would You Do? That always...
Yeah, it was out there too.
Yeah.
So,
then
okay,
she didn't respond. I'm not dead yet.
Oh,
also, y'all. So one of the things that she also said, in addition to physically and sexually abusing him, was that he was also doing voodoo on her.
Yeah.
So when he came into this, frame to address these issues, he says about the voodoo thing that he did go to the voodoo man, and they went to the voodoo man, and he thought the voodoo man was a man of God. Let us, for the sake of this conversation, call him the Obia man. So he went to the Obia man, and he was like, well, I thought that this guy was a man of God. So they went to him to ask him to bless bless their union. I don't know, bless something. So the guy goes ahead and blesses them, and then shortly after that, the man he says in his Instagram or whatever that there was another incident where they ended up breaking up. So another incident happened. So as this other incident happened, the Obia man is trying to call the lady, and the lady's not answering the Obia man anymore, right? So now as he goes to try and answer, so the lady's not answering the Obia man anymore. So now the Obia man calls Major Hype and is like, yo, that's disrespectful that this lady is not answering me anymore. Here is instructions for something I want you to do to this lady because she's disrespected me. So here's the instructions. So Major Hype says that he wrote down the instructions with a pen and a paper. Mind you, this is like, she found this pen and paper. He wrote down the instructions, but then he put it in his drawer, and he was never going to do that.
Never going to use it.
But y'all, why would you write it down? And then also, a pen is so hard to find these days. Literally, I have one pen. This is the new era where you don't just have pens all the time. I literally have this one pen that when I need a pen, I have this one pen that was given to me. So the fact that he had this, went out of his way to find this pen, even the fact that he wrote it down, if you're not planning on doing the thing that the Obia man says, why are you gonna write it down?
Why did you keep it?
Even if you're okay, I'm gonna listen to what you have to say. Put it in your drawer. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys follow Babsy, Strictly Babsy. So Babsy come on with a video of Major Hype throwing the girls' stuff outside, and
oh really? I didn't even see.
You didn't see the video? I didn't see the video. She's it's all her stuff thrown down the stairs, and she's walking after him, and she's like, Nigel, why would you do this? She's clearly been crying, and he's like, you said you were leaving, so you could fucking go. So she's like, but you need to stop touching my stuff. He's like, oh, you're recording a video now? She's like, yes, because I have to show people what you do, what you do to me. And he's like, well, this ain't no effing storage. So you said you're leaving, you can leave. She's like, but Nigel, this is my son's stuff. You're throwing my son out too. He's like, I don't give a F about your son. You care about my son? And she's like, yeah, no. And then he's like, yeah, you don't care about my son? I don't give a F about your son. You and your son can get the F out of here. You said you're leaving, you could leave. And her stuff is strewn everywhere.
He just was out.
It's get the F out. So
I didn't see this video.
There was a video involved. And then also the paper for the Obia man was in there. But to be honest with you, y'all, if I could screenshot it and flip it and figure out what it said, trust me, I would have, because I was extra curious. But no go. Cannot figure. I don't know what it said. I don't know what the instructions were. I'm just trying to figure out what the instructions were, just to figure out if it was legitimate or not. But Just trying to know.
Really?
So anyway, that's the thing that happened. He said he's not responding anymore. It looks like Babsy leave the thing alone now. I don't see she's talking about it. She's like on to the next thing. Maybe lawyers.
Yeah, maybe. All right, old news is old news.
Maybe. And then.
But that was good for her because she got a lot of viewers. And
she probably in the time that I think she went from 30K to 80K in just the time that I was on there. And to be honest with you, she's really good at promoting herself. She has this thing called Caribbean Snack Box.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard it?
I think I saw a picture of it.
It's a monthly subscription service, and every month you get snacks from Caribbean, different parts of the Caribbean, different countries in the Caribbean.
Well, they do that all the time with other places, and you get to order the snack box, try the different things.
Yeah, but from the Caribbean, hello, I want it. I want korma and all this stuff. She's in Toronto. I'm sure she just goes down one street and it's so funny. Yeah, I'm sure she even got his discharge papers because he faked that heart attack or whatever.
Wow, did she put it up there?
Yeah, she did. Wow. She had the whole picture on there where they were like, oh, it was unspecified chest pains. She put her whole mama's she's like, this is what my mom takes for heart. And she's like, my mom is not even near to the level of having a heart attack. Like, she's not even there. And this is what she takes. And then she's like, now let's see what Major Hype was released with. And his prescription was aspirin. And so...
aspirin's a blood thinner.
Yeah, they actually stopped. They actually stopped suggesting people take that.
Yeah, they had all
for heart issues.
They had full commercials on it. People were literally taking it during a heart attack.
Noel used to take it all the time, like every single day. He was like, "Oh, I need my baby aspirin," and the doctor's like, "You're taking what every day?" No. Stop. Yeah. So that was the Meja Mako of the week.
Wow.
And honestly, I mean, it's sad. I hope everybody gets the help that they need.
Right.
I hope. The thing is, y'all, if you are dealing with stuff, Kivo said it the best. Like, if you have this ball of trauma or emotion, and then you're trying to like hold it under the surface, eventually it's gonna pop up and destroy everything, smoke you in the face. Like, there's no way to like push that down. So if you know today, like if you're watching this and you know that you have childhood trauma that you haven't really dealt with, I urge you, this is a good time to plug the Africa Center because they have a new therapy system, I guess, where you can actually book online, you can go in person, and it's all Black therapists and it's free therapy. You don't even have to pay. So big ups to Africa Center. I didn't mean to roll into that, but there it is.
Big ups to Africa Center. They got the people.
Truly. All right. So what else?
Well, we have the new COVID restrictions.
So Jason Kinney got on the TV today. Thankfully, I got 2 text messages. I got 2 text messages and 1 phone call in this order. First, my good friend Tanya called me and texted me and was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Why? I'm fine. I'm watching a webinar." She's like, "Oh, Jason Kennedy just announced the new restrictions." I'm like, "Okay, are they shutting me down?" She's like, "Yeah, it looks like it after Sunday." I'm like, "Okay." So she sends me the new restrictions. I read the new restrictions. I'm like, so it is what it is. After Sunday, folks, no more hairstyling. But obviously, and especially by Sunday, we'll definitely have aphrodisiac baskets that will be ready. I think probably all next week we'll be taking orders, packing baskets, and delivering them to you guys. And then also Harriet's Tremendous Day, which is the follow-up to Harriet's Humongous Hair. will be out as well. It is available for pre-order right now on aphrodisiacnaturals.com. But we will be delivering them during the day / shipping them out somewhere around the 15th, I think.
Shout out to Kyle the Illustrator.
Yeah, Ink Fable.
Boom, Ink Fable.
I love his email address is Smith by Design.
I like that.
And his name's Kyle Smith.
Yeah.
So I love his email address. You guys may know of Kyle. I big him up on a very regular basis. I think he's probably one of the most talented graphic designers.
He's really good.
I've ever seen. Like, period. I don't want to say in the city because it's very reductive. He's really, really good. And he has helped us grow up Harriet a little bit, but at the same time still stay true to...
She's a little older now.
She's a little bit older, but still stay true to Harriet. Like, who's Harriet and who we know is Harriet and what's true about her. So the second text message I got was from our good friend Greg Davis, who was like, "So Kenny's shutting you down." Immediately. I was like, thank God I got that Tanya text message first, because that thing would have been mad triggering. I was on the brink, so I probably would have been like, "Blah!" I would have been a mess during this show. So thank you, Tanya, for breaking the ice, and thank you, Greg, for coming with it. But what I told Greg was, nobody can shut me down. He's like, that's it. I'm like, you can't. What do you think? You can't shut me down. I got too much stuff in here. Like, I have a place to work from. I have a product. I have a client base. I have a brand. I have motivation. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a small business owner. So we just gonna keep going. As long as people keep buying, I'm gonna keep selling. And that's all I could do, to be honest with you.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, but we're gonna be thinking really creatively about how to rethink about our business and how we're pretty much gonna still be able to like interact with you guys and the things that we'll be able to do going forward.
Which is gonna be great. I think that
You want to talk about them? Thank you.
Yeah, I did want to talk about them.
There we go.
Okay, so here are the closures taking effect at midnight on Sunday. So
here's my thing. Just you can answer for me. No, it's about what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Is midnight on Sunday like Sunday at midnight, or is it Saturday at 12 o'clock?
No, it's midnight on Sunday.
So 11:59 on Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Go ahead.
But they probably meant Sunday.
Sunday?
Because Sunday is the beginning of the week.
They meant midnight Saturday, actually? Because my assistant was like, so just a really quick question. Does that mean Sunday's a working day, or does that mean Sunday's not a working day? I'm like, girl, it means we got till Monday. I'm not really sure. Is Sunday a working day or isn't it? That's the thing I do not know. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. So, retail businesses as of Sunday will be allowed to remain open. As of Sunday will be, so it's until Saturday 11:59. So Sunday.
Okay.
So retail businesses as of Sunday will be allowed to remain open, but must reduce capacity to 15% of the occupancy allowed under the fire code. Places of worship will face the same restriction. Now, before it was a third of whatever it is.
What is it now?
15%. So
wow.
A third was 33. They cut that
in half. Yeah.
So if you have 100 people, you can only have 15 people in your place of worship.
Which is great. At Aphrodisiac, we can still have 30 people in here comfortably with that number.
Yeah, 15%. Yeah. So here we have it. The closures taking effect at midnight Sunday include all restaurants, pubs, bars, lounges, cafes, to in-person service. Only takeout, curbside pickup, and delivery service will be permitted. So all the skip to dish drivers,
You're good to go.
And delivery
DoorDash
and delivery services. DoorDash, you guys are there. What's the Instacart? You guys are good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Casinos, bingo halls, gaming entertainment centers, racing entertainment centers, horse tracks, raceways, bowling alleys, pool halls, legions, and private clubs shutter down. So all those are closed.
Mm-hmm.
Recreational facilities such as fitness centers, right when I was about to get that
Yeah, I was right there.
Right there, bro.
So close.
So the recreation centers, pools, spas, gyms, studios, camps, indoor rinks, and arenas. All you hockey buffs out there, shut her down.
Ain't it? So this is no more soccer
Hang up
anymore.
the skates.
I was like just getting excited to get my weekly soccer update.
Yeah, sorry. Libraries, science centers, interpretive centers. What's an interpretive center? Like an art center? Where you do dance studio? Where you do interpretive dance?
It feels like...
Is it an acting place at the Citadel where you do interpretive monologue?
You have the only Google we have. Let me check. Keep talking and I'll find out.
Okay.
The inquiring minds would like to know.
Museums, galleries, amusement parks, and water parks. Shut her down. Hang up the shorts. Hang up the swim trunks. Hang up the swim trunks. Take back the tickets. The seat. All you who bought Fantasyland season passes.
Oh, it's galleries.
It's galleries, right? It's art galleries.
Art galleries.
You look at the art and you're like, I feel like the artist is trying to say.
Those ones.
Those ones. That's what you have to do. Those people who like to do that, sorry. Hang it up. Shut it down.
Shut her down.
Businesses offering personal and wellness services.
This is where I'm in there.
Hair salons, nail salons,
yes,
tattoo parlors, and massage parlors. Never. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. Shut her down.
I'm sorry. Smooth by Sugar, our friend Christine Pinette.
She's like, shh. She's like, shh. You're like, they got us, bro.
Sorry, girl.
You call her out on TV. I just gotta shut it down.
No, you had to. I know Christine. Christine's a scientist, so trust me, you don't have to convince her.
So, funerals and wedding ceremonies will be limited to 10 people only. It was at 50, so they shut her right down to 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Regulated health services such as physiotherapy, social and protective services, shelters for vulnerable persons, emergency services, and soup kitchens can remain open for in-person attendance. Okay. That means if
that's like the services for people. So yeah, hopefully.
But it's what I'm like.
For vulnerable people who are vulnerable. Yeah, thank you for leaving their services
health
open.
Services such as physiotherapy, social or protective services, social services being social services,
mm-hmm.
protective services, shelters for vulnerable persons, like the women's shelter and the youth emergency shelter,
mm-hmm.
the emergency services, like hospitals,
mm-hmm.
and soup kitchens, like Bissell Center
mm-hmm.
and Hope Mission, can remain open for in-person attendance.
Okay.
Hotels may remain open but must follow all relevant restrictions. Outdoor recreation is permitted, but facilities with indoor space will be closed except for the washrooms.
Can we do a photo shoot? That's not allowed? I can't tell.
Photo stuff is not
on the list
on here at all. I'm trying to see. But if you are doing a photo shoot in a gallery,
No, I was trying to do it at a hotel.
If you do it at a hotel, then you're good. If
In
you
a
do it
hotel
in a
bathroom.
gallery, museum, amusement park, you're done. Shut her down.
Shut her down.
What else we got here? But there is light at the end of the tunnel.
What's the light? Tell us about the light.
There's new support for small businesses.
Okay.
At Tuesday's news conference, Doug Schweitzer, the Minister of Jobs, Economy, and Innovation,
okay. What did he say?
Said the government will expand the small and medium enterprise relaunch grant with a new lower threshold and increased grant amounts. We have reports saying that 40% of these small businesses may not be able to turn on the lights back on if we don't provide them with support. So Schweitzer said that that's the extent of what we're facing here in our province. 40% may not come back unless we step in and provide them with support now.
Thanks.
So he goes, businesses will be eligible to apply for a second payment through the program. That's for those of you who took the first payment. For a total of up to $20,000 in potential funding each, up from the original $5,000. So they were going to give $5,000.
That's not 10.
Now it's 20.
Okay.
It's another 20 G's.
Okay.
Up to 15 G's grant is 15,000. More businesses may be eligible for government funding. The province said in a news release.
Okay.
The program will also expand to include businesses that have experienced revenue losses of at least 30% due to the pandemic, lowering the threshold from the former requirement of 40% revenue losses. And that's it. And then it talks about how many cases. Here's the breakdown of our active cases. Edmonton, all of Edmonton zone, has 9,383 cases. They are currently dealing with. Calgary has 7,529. The central zone of Alberta has 1,526. The northern zone, we're talking about, Fort McMurray and that's 1,220.
Wow, for as many camps as it's out there, they're doing pretty well.
The south zone, that's anything below Calgary, is 646 cases. And then the unknown zone, it's 92 cases coming from the unknown, the mist. Coming out.
Unknown zone, we don't know where it is.
We don't know where it is.
We don't know who's there.
They got about 100 people.
There's about 100 of them got COVID.
Sorry, people.
Oh, sorry, the great unknown.
Unfortunately, in the unknown, you can't get the help you need. Okay, so Alberta needs, and that's it. So a lot of people are upset at what Kenny had said originally. Now, don't be upset.
Because there's support.
Now there's support and help.
I mean, I have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to get them supports, but we'll be out there doing the things. If your bank is ATB has somehow decided that they have to figure out what's going on before they release that extra SEBA money, which is annoying.
I hear that.
So the Supreme Court of the United States of America finally struck down the Republican bid to stop Pennsylvania from certifying their Pennsylvania election.
Wow.
Yeah, they're still out there.
Doing all
the things. And even the party was like, even if we assume that Joe Biden won, I'm like, these guys are really something right now.
Still assuming.
Okay. They're doing this still. So, that's still happening, but I think that once Pennsylvania certifies their thing, then I think that's the end of it then. My man has not conceded yet, obviously.
Which he said he's not going to concede.
Yeah, he's going to, instead of conceding, he's going to start his own media network. So, that's happening. He does. He said he wants to put Fox News out of business.
Do you think he's going to do what we thought he was going to do?
I think he's gonna buy that news
Even though they
company.
said they're not for sale and they're not going to Trumpify it.
I don't know.
That is rough.
All right. I think that they've come to an intersection where they see a rise in viewership because of him. But at the same time, they don't want to delegitimize themselves as like a network, especially when they're just starting.
Well, he certainly bigged them up on TV.
Yeah, he loves them.
He totally got through them. So
yeah. So let us move on.
Right.
Is there anything like really on the scroll that we should big time talk about?
On the scroll.
Rashida Jones.
Yeah.
Has gone to be the first Black president of MSNBC. They voted her president of the network. Yeah, so congratulations to her.
Yeah, congrats to Rashida Jones.
Yeah, that is definitely very cool, and it is the network's first Black president.
Oh man, I love
the Blacks. NBC is very liberal already, so
very.
It's like ultra liberal. So MSNBC, I mean, I'm like, let's listen to what this quirky Rachel Maddow's got to say about this situation. But we always know what Rachel's got to say, don't we? Anyway, so what is going on the screen? What you watching?
The screen. Oh man! So on the screen, of course, we have our three favorites. That is Discovery, which we find out Burnham did. You gotta watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Go watch that.
My Star Trek group spoils it for me every single day.
And that's the funny thing. Burnham's doing some stuff that is stirring up the Star Trek community.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good because the most hated Star Trek group, which is the Enterprise
franchise,
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The Enterprise franchise, which came out, I think it was the last one before.
In the aughts. It's the aughts Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. So they came out. This actually ties almost all
into Enterprise, actually. Yeah.
So it's quite interesting to watch how it all gets brought in together. And they've had a couple things where they've shown Voyager, the Starship Voyager.
They've shown Voyager,
in Discovery in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got to like really check out quite a few things.
Was that me or was that you?
That's probably you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have what else do we have? We have
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian comes out. We find out the name of Baby Yoda. So we find that out.
What is it?
It's Grogu.
Grogu. I'm like, Goku? Roku?
And
no.
We also, for those of you who are really Star Wars fans,
we meet and see again.
You have to also watch the Clone Wars in entirety. Mm. And then you see some of the characters from the Clone Wars
in the Mandalorian
come to life in real life.
So somebody posted this, like, pretty much, like, you know when you're wishing somebody well because they're in the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
They posted this well wishers post for Jon Favreau.
Right.
Being in the hospital. He, like, sustained, like, some serious injuries. He has, like, several slipped discs in his back.
Wow.
You know he's the writer-director of The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that he actually incurred these injuries on the set, pulling the whole Star Wars franchise out of the hole.
Okay, first and foremost.
So he did. I say that to say, as a writer-director, he did incorporate. He also pulled together a lot of the different universes in this Mandalorian universe. And we just last week saw the original Mandalorian that we know, which is Boba Fett.
Yes.
Come on the show.
So and the funny thing about it is, a lot of people have had a huge problem with how they ended the Skywalker series. A lot of people had a problem with Solo, how they did Solo.
I didn't like it. I thought Solo was really... I mean, I guess I know what it was. Like, I felt like they made a movie for men. It was a very, like, this is a movie for white men.
I don't know what to say about this, but you're
Sorry
probably
that
right.
you said that, but
I'm
sorry that I've made you feel that way, but
you're probably right. But
that's what I felt like.
I felt like it was a prequel. When you watch the original Star Wars series and you hear Han Solo talk about some of the stories, they brought those stories
to life. Yeah,
and that's what I was looking for right now.
Yeah.
You know, how many parsecs he, you know, the Millennium Falcon went, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then you find out the parsecs is not a time thing in real life; it's actually a measurement.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, long story short. People were upset about that. I think the only thing they weren't upset at was Rogue One, where a lot of people were like, loved Rogue One, totally sad though, but we loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So, bringing this now, this wasn't a tragedy like Rogue One,
mm-hmm.
but it's definitely what we call a space cowboy movie.
I like it.
And it's great. He walks like a cowboy. He's got a total spacesuit. He's got his pistol shooter that he uses as blaster, which is fantastic. And then he's got his huge sniper rifle and his spear.
And his jetpack. And his...
Oh, yes. His bombs, which is quite...
And his grenades.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, his weapons are extensive.
His weapons are fantastic.
Sanaya started watching it, and she's like, "Oh, Baby Yoda." I'm like, "You know that's not Baby Yoda." She's like, "It's not. There's more Yodas." And then Noelle started watching it, and Noelle's like, "Oh, so Yoda ages backwards?" I'm like, "No, he just ages really slow, and that's not Yoda. It's just one of the species." I'm like, "Why am I?" But these are people who don't engage in stuff. They're just watching a show, right? They're just watching a show. So I'm like, why don't you guys? What's wrong? And then I realized, like, no, bro. There's like so much behind it.
For all the Star Wars fans out there, you have to take time with the people around you as they get immersed into something that we probably have.
I'm more a Star Trek fan than a Star Wars fan, but I mess with it.
I hear that. So,
I'm sorry.
So,
what's the third one?
The third. So we have the Mandalorian. We have that, and then we have. Oh man! Oh, our his Dark Materials.
Ooh, which I think we might have one.
We might have another episode coming up soon, or up. So that one is interesting. It is the TV version of the Golden Compass, which was a really good movie, and it ended weird because you were supposed to have another movie,
and they never created
another movie. They instead created a show, recast all the characters, which was awesome, and made this.
It's actually okay. I'll take it.
It's actually a pretty good show.
Was it Daniel Craig who was in it in the movie? Yeah, it was James Bond, I think.
Yeah, Daniel Craig. Yeah.
Daniel Craig's in the movie, and then the guy from The Last King.
And Nicole Kidman.
And the guy from The Last King of Scotland is in this TV show.
Yes. Also, Professor X from X-Men.
Oh yeah.
He's also played.
He did that.
And a whole lot of other really.
He's an acclaimed actor. Honestly,
he's a really good actor.
Acclaimed.
He was in Atomic Blood. Just so many movies he was in. So,
Atomic Blonde. Nope, didn't see it. That was with
Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
So he's been in a lot of shows, a lot of movies. He's played bad guys, he's played good guys, and it's just awesome to watch him move. He's such a great actor, and he's beginning his career. He's probably in the middle of his career. I don't know where he's at, but for what he's doing.
Oh, he was in Split too.
Yeah, he's definitely in Split.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's very underrated as an actor, honestly.
He's such a good
He's
actor.
Very good, yeah.
And he's going to be known. You watch it, mark my words, he'll be known as one of the greats as far as his acting skills.
I agree. He's very good.
So he's in
and
there.
We do not know his name.
He's in there, and yeah, and so for the screen, we're definitely watching these 3 shows. Now, as far as other shows, there's a series that we completed, which was...
That's James McAvoy we were talking about
James
before. Sorry.
McAvoy.
Mm-hmm.
James McAvoy.
People are out there like, you forgot James McAvoy! I know, he has a big fan following. Sorry, y'all. James McAvoy. Big ups.
But we were also watching with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant.
Oh, The Undoing.
The Undoing.
I finished it. We were watching The Undoing.
Lovely.
It was messy white folks drama. So essentially, there might be spoilers if you're planning on watching it. If you can't watch it, if you hear spoilers, then I'll give you a second to fast forward this part. Okay, so here we go with The Undoing. So pretty much a couple people were like, oh, this show's so amazing. There's only 6 episodes, so it's a good after work binge, I would call it. Like, you get home from work, you got off a little bit early today because Jason Kinney has the new restrictions up, and now your business is closed a bit earlier. So you get home about 4, you make dinner 5. It's still kind of early. You don't want to get into work right now. You've been working a lot. You kind of want to unwind. Now it's like 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock. You may or may not have children, or you may have the kind of children who put themselves to bed. And you kind of just want to like be in some drama. So this is your typical Lifetime 6-hour binge type of a movie.
Right.
So if you started at 6, you could be done by midnight.
Could be.
And you can have a good night's sleep and still get up for work in the morning. So essentially, Hugh Grant is a British man who is apparently...
Wow. This has not come out in a while.
He's not on the level of Nicole Kidman and his family. It's here. Top of the morning to you. Anyhow, so...
All of it.
I hope your mom's on so that you can hear me doing it. She'll be like, that's terrible.
I didn't invite her, so she might not be on.
She liked it just now. I saw her like
she was
it.
On?
I don't know if she's on, but I saw her like it.
Okay.
Like the video.
Maybe
so I'm not sure.
Did.
Yeah, maybe she did. Yeah. So, anyhow. So, this young Spanish woman that lives near them
right.
ends up showing up, and she's like kind of weird or whatever. Nicole Kidman's nice to her, and then she's like very bizarre, and then all of a sudden she winds up dead. Anyway, so we're going through trying to figure out if the guy did it or not. Nicole Kidman's like, no, not my husband. I know who he is. Back and forth, and then she ends up finding out that the guy's crazy and that he was the one who killed the Spanish girl. So that's it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So the thing about it was, her character, unless her character was like murderous, I didn't like her. So at the end, when I found out that she was not murderous, I'm like, why was she like that? Like, are these people real? Like, Nicole Kidman must have been channeling somebody. Like, even her facial expressions while other people were talking, she was just so, I'm like, is this a thing? And it was a thing. And
the whole time.
I was so disappointed at the end. I was like, what? It's ridiculous. It was him the whole time?
The whole time.
So terrible. I'm like, oh, so the one who we thought it was at first was exactly who it was. So it was disappointing. And if you just watch that and was like, oh no, now I'm going to watch it, I'm not going to watch it, and then just be happy that I saved your sleep. But it does have a lot of, what? You find out those things like that, but at the end of the day.
Yeah. No. At the end of the day,
if you're not invested in the mystery, then it's a good movie. I think that's what it is. But I'm invested in the mystery, so I did not like it.
I found that very, very funny.
I'm like, so the white guy I didn't trust in the first place is a psychopath since he was young and actually was the one who murdered this young Latina woman and also blamed it on her. Like, it's just so...
The whole time...
You're like, duh.
The whole time I watched it, I thought it was Nicole Kidman. The whole time.
It's not Nicole Kidman?
The murderer.
Oh, the murderer. I'm like, that actress is another person? Sorry. It was Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
That's just how poor I am at telling people apart. Oh, man, the other day, my daughter mixed up Cameron Diaz and Jennifer Aniston, and then pulled Jennifer Aniston up on her phone while Cameron Diaz was on the screen and was like, they look exactly the same. And I was like, I feel like I raised you right. Yeah, so
there's that, and I'm gonna start doing a watch party for is it a watch party? Yeah, I'm gonna do a watch
live
party.
Live tweeting
for a show. Pharrell Williams and Bishop Ezekiel Williams out of
looking like that baby in that meme.
Virginia. They have one called Voices of Fire on Netflix. So I'm going to be watching it and then commenting on it. And I invite everybody to join me. It's going to be hilarious as we go through these people and figure out what they're doing and why they're doing these things.
Sounds good.
It's going to be awesome.
All right, y'all. What's in your ears?
In my ears. K-Riz is about to drop an album, so I'm waiting for that to come out.
I've been seeing that.
Also,
Tiffany. Yeah, I just got her link to her newest album. So big ups to her. Will be the original link that we got wasn't working, so we'll be having like a listening thing amongst the Melanistic team, and then we have two guys. Names letter D and letter D that I was trying to decide how to call their D&D or I don't know, the dungeon or something. But these two people are going to be the people who are reviewing the albums. I'm not sure if I want to keep them as anonymous people yet, because the problem with us being in such a small community is that it can affect them, and what if they don't like it? And the next thing you know, people are like, yo, F you, bro. Yeah. Or sis, depending on who it is.
People are like that.
Yeah, so, our D&D reviews, I haven't figured out what we'll call it yet. But our first one will be Tiffany's new album, and that's what's in my ears. We're now in the process of listening through to that to give it a fair review. Anything you have coming up?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, there was supposed to be so many things have happened in 2020. I would say 90% of my shows have been canceled.
Okay, but next Saturday, I believe the 19th, we are working on putting together just an aphrodisiac market. That's not what I want us to call it, because there's an actual aphrodisiac market, but like the home shopping network idea that we did for the market, but doing it with only aphrodisiac products, pretty much all the stuff we have in the store. Right. I haven't really gotten a chance to share with you guys the new body line and sort of just the things that we've been working on. So I wanted to have an opportunity to do that before the holiday, and then also maybe give you some last minute shopping ideas. So now that we'll be shut down forever, I think that will be the 19th. I was looking at my calendar and I was like, oh snap, the 19th looks clear. Maybe I'll just book it off and do it then. And then Jason Kinney did it for me. So,
Nice.
additionally, if you can see this, if you can hear this, and you're trying to get your hair done, you need to call D now to get in by the end of the week because we haven't even figured out if Sunday is a working day or not. As of right now,
It's not.
so Saturday is a wrap.
It's Saturday. You gotta book in for Saturday.
So you guys gotta hurry up. I'm literally from 7 a.m. I guess I'm gonna have to work late Saturday. Literally, I'm booked from 7 a.m. on Saturday. I'll have to call her back and tell her that Sunday's a no-go.
Sunday's a no-go.
I don't think I have anybody then.
Unless you want to do it in the dark.
What do you mean in the dark? In the literal dark?
Right, but I mean, like, do hair with all the lights off in the shop.
So nobody can see
nobody can see you doing it.
No.
Because you have a big window, right?
All of the windows.
Police are like, beep, 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 beep.
Trust me. People be walking their dogs looking up at us. I'm not about it. All right, y'all. Do you have a word this week?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you have one?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a word this week. It's literally the word I got from Sister Aaliyah.
Oh,
and she said,
baby girl?
She said that if at first you don't succeed, brush your shoulders off and try again.
You know we've literally used this before as a word.
But here's why we have to bring it up.
This is how you twist, okay?
This is how we have to bring it up again because we went out of the lockdown. We had to tell everybody, shut it down. And some people's businesses that are watching this right now didn't make it past the first shutdown. Yeah. And so now we're here in a second shutdown.
It's true.
And it's gonna try the people who just made it through the last one. It's gonna try their business pretty hard.
Yeah.
And the people who are succeeding, everybody's gonna have to try a little bit harder. First of all, we have to support Black businesses.
Truly.
If you know somebody who has a Black business, whether
you do
like their attitude,
if you're watching this,
you don't like their attitude.
It's me he's talking about.
Whatever it is, it's not necessarily yours, but it is people. You have to support Black businesses.
Yep.
Right now, the banks are doing funny things because they haven't regulated how the banks are supposed to do things in the Black community. Mm-hmm. So when you go for the loan, that is it is being offered to you by the government. You're still getting a lot of pushback from the banks.
Oh yeah, that thing's not even up yet.
Second, and when I'm talking about second, it's we have to work together with whomever is available and the people who are there, and we have to really, when they talk about holiday spirit, open the door for somebody, pay it forward, all these things they try to tell you throughout the whole year, but it really comes out a lot during Christmas because nobody wants Santa to not bring them gifts or whatever the situation is. So what we're looking at is this year, if you can give whatever you can give to somebody that you see may need it or may not need it. We were just talking about going to McDonald's, and the other day I was, in the summertime I was in McDonald's, and this guy was yelling at me in the lineup to get into McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And as he's yelling at me because he stopped to check his phone and he wasn't looking, and there were two split lineups, for McDonald's. They have the two lineups now. You can order at two different spots. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't moving, so I just drove around him and picked one of the lines, and he went into the other line, which his line was first. So he came out and honked his horn and told me that I have to step back. He was first, and I told him to get off his phone because I don't know that he's first. I thought he was on one side. He thought he was on both lines, and it was an argument from my car window to his vehicle window. Mm-hmm. And then when he went around, and I'm like, man, I can't wait. I hope this guy comes out of the line. I'm going to tell him something about himself, blah, blah, blah. As we go into the line, he turns around and pays for my meal. Mm-hmm. And then I'm sitting there with with a meal, free meal. They're like, oh, the guy ahead of you, he paid for it. So I'm like, okay, cool, this is great. And then I go to say thank you, and he drives off, speeds off angrily. And people are like, oh, you got sunned. Oh, man, he really, he was trying to get you. And I looked at it, and I was like, wow, he literally did. He literally took all the wind out of my sail and paid it to me. And that was the biggest revenge. He literally killed me with kindness, like literally. And so one of the things this season, this holiday season, is going to be a little bit tough because they're saying no social gatherings. So if you are not with your immediate family, if you are not there, you're not allowed to go there. So at Christmas time, when people are like traveling to go see their relatives and hang out, there's going to be police there stopping you and giving you $1,000 ticket. When you're like, I'm just getting home, or I'm just doing this. It's one of those things. So
they're out.
Let us, and tonight, on my way here, man, there were so many police. I think I saw about 7 or 8 police cars on Yellowhead just pulling people. And we haven't even got into lockdown or quarantine. So keep your mind right during quarantine. Don't be discouraged by being by yourself. Use the tools that are there. You don't have to feel alone. You can be alone, but you don't have to feel alone. You can use Zoom. You can use YouTube Live, Instagram Live. You can use WhatsApp and call people. Video call your family. Spend time. You're inside. Use your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi will allow you to keep in touch with the family that surrounds you. And all those people who need services and need things done, try and get those things done before they lock us down for a bit. Because they're going to lock us down for a good month, it looks like. It's going to be like a good
month, they said.
Yeah. So if they can flatten this curve, it would be great. And we got to always remember to keep safe out there and keep all those who are around us safe. And that's the word.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in once again this week to the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. We will see you next week. Good night, everybody.